So yeah.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Now I want some watermelon cantaloupe. Damn.
86 now. I know, right?
Okay.
That does sound refreshing.
Absolutely.
Okay. I hope my headphones don't die. They had like 30%.
Oh yeah, the
They
way
should be
I'm
good.
hanging on by a prayer and a thread right now myself.
Oh!
Yeah, because like it wasn't even changing to like a desktop in order to log into Riverside.
Yeah.
It was like I got a new like device from work because they were like, hey my boy, we need you to update this too. So I had to like configure the settings and everything. I was gonna have my over the head headphones, but
Oh, okay.
they
Yeah.
they were just showing out. So then I was like, all right, let me
Yeah.
put my AirPods real quick. Yeah, you
Yeah.
should say I was
Okay,
stretched.
so we're okay. Well, I'm glad we figured that out. We are live now. So for those of you who are joining in, Andrew and I were just chatting about our technical preferences with our headphones. So thanks to everyone who is joining in to listen to us chat today on today's member spotlight. As I mentioned, we do have Andrew. So super excited to share with y'all a little bit about him and yeah, our involvement with OTT. So, Andrew, welcome. Thank you so much for joining our call today. How are you?
Absolutely, I'm great. I'm currently visiting my family back home in the Bronx as well, and I had an amazing wedding. But now we're doing this interview, so I'm live. I'm pumped. You know what I'm saying?
Yay. Yeah, love it. Yeah, this is the first time you and I have had a chance to interact and get to know one another. But yeah, I did notice the title with this call today was Bronx to the Bay. So,
Yep.
how long have you been in the Bay?
Yeah, great question. So first, I originally moved out there late 2019, and then something really big happened in March the following year, and then I ran it back. I was working for my parents' house, so I have been back in the Bay uninterrupted from August 2021 to now, and I've lived in several places in the Bay Area. I'm currently based in Mountain View.
Okay, cool. How do you like Mountain View?
It's calm, like you're talking to the
Yeah.
first and last black man in Mountain View, California. I really prioritize like a super short commute as opposed to
Yeah.
where I'm at on the weekends. You can catch me in like Berkeley, Oakland on the regular, and my crew's been asking me for years, like, "Hey, so when you moving out here?" I'm like, "When they build an office in Oakland, sure." Until that,
Yeah.
I'm a super commute. Yeah,
Yeah. Oh man, no, I feel that. I lived in Berkeley, loved it out there.
man,
I was just in Gilroy, so I feel like not too far from Mountain View. The further down you go, yeah. Further
yeah.
down you go, the more brown I felt, I will say.
Nah, straight up, but not to
Yeah.
rag on Mountain View. So I'm a city boy, right? Bronx, New York,
Yeah.
born and raised, and
Yeah.
I had to let go of the. It's not New York City, you know what I'm saying? Like everything closes 8 o'clock. Da, 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 But
Yeah.
once I started like putting roots down, like being able to
Yeah.
understand what did I enjoy outside of what I'm paid to
Yeah.
enjoy and everything like that.
Right.
Mountain View, it's calm, bro. Like I'm like commute. There's a lot of things that I'm interested in doing that I'm able to do. So
Yeah.
yeah, Mountain View is calm. It's not forever, but it's for now, I would say.
Yeah. Good. I'm glad you're
Mhm.
enjoying it. And how are you enjoying your time back in the Bronx?
Oh, yo. It's been like a whirlwind. I'm not even going to hold you. Like I got back Friday morning. My family's happy to see me, but then also like I put on for them a lot. So I've been to this past weekend. I've been to Pennsylvania with my pops. He wanted to take me to like this really dope event at this church, and then one of my closest friends, they got married. They tied the knot yesterday, so I was in Long Island, the east side of Long Island, and let me tell you something. That was like a 2 hour drive from the
Oh my
BN2.
gosh.
So I, I couldn't even tell you. I've been in PA in Long Island longer than I've been in the Bronx. But you know, we here, we make it work. Thank God for PTO. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, no,
Hmm.
totally. I totally get it. I feel like when I lived in the Bay Area and I would make my Texas trips, it'd be like, okay, let me try to hit up like Austin and Houston while I'm also going to San Antonio. And like, so you're like in the general area. So it's like, might as well just try to make all the stops.
Yeah, you make the stretch, but that's why, like, frankly, I be in the cut. Like, I used to be like, yo, I'm back in town. Like let's link, let's get into it, so on and so forth too. But now I'm like, bro, I just want to settle. Like, I'm gonna see you when I see you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's fun to me. I don't live here no more, so my time is like limited. You know?
Yes, yes. No, I totally get that. No, you have to. You have to
Hmm.
limit who's going to be on your list of people that
Yeah,
you
protect your
notify.
cow. Protect your cow for real.
Yes, absolutely. So since you've been in the Bay, how did you discover OTT? How'd you get plugged in?
Yeah, for sure. So funny enough, shameless plug and shout out. I was at SF Fit too. I hope I'm saying that right. I might get yelled at afterwards and everything. But my first like introduction to OTT
Yeah.
was the SF Fit event last year too, in which like one of the members of OTT, my homegirl Rachel Chambers, like she sent an email blast internally saying like, yo, like we're having this event in San Francisco. It's going to run from like, I think like 10 to 5 o'clock. So there was like a hit class. There was a boot camp.
Mhm.
They had like a lot of independent businesses. Then my man Joseph was leading a yoga. He's an emotional support human, so ESH, which I think is really tough.
Yeah.
And you know, I hooked up with Rachel there, and I met Gabe and Kyle as well. And I'm like, yo, I really love what you got going on because like it's like, oh, physical fitness, yoga, black people. I'm there. Like you want to set a trap for me? Just put the culture some type of way to organically bond and get to know people better. I'm a slide every time. You know?
Yeah. Oh, I love
Yeah.
that. No, I was also, yeah, I went to our Fit Fest the last time that they had it, and it was
Hey.
such a phenomenal event. But I mean, you're right. Like getting a group of people who just want to like work on their health and fitness, like, I
Yeah.
mean, you're guaranteed to have a good time. So
Exactly.
anybody watching, we do have another one. So check out our Instagram for
Slide.
the details on the dates and times and show up. It really is a good time. It's such a great way to like just meet people and
Hmm.
yeah,
Work up
get
a
out
sweat.
there.
Get active. Good
Yeah.
music. Good treats. Good eats
Yeah,
and everything.
totally.
Y'all
Yeah.
won't regret it, y'all, because I
Yeah.
wasn't going. So I'm in South Bay, and for my New Yorkers, right? Like South Bay to San Francisco is like getting from the Bronx to Brooklyn. So it's a trek to say the very least. I was like, man, am I really going to San Francisco on a weekend? Like, I don't know, but I'm glad I did. I was like, who
Yeah.
knows if I would have tapped into OTT otherwise, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
go out of your way, like make that leap. Like not only when it comes to those of us who are like actively dating and everything, but also like trying to make different friends. Like it's kind
Hmm.
of a cheat code in the sense of I like to do ABC. Let me find a group that likes to do ABC and then see what
Right.
happens from there. You're gonna it's trial and error, right? Like you don't
Right.
stay connected to everyone you encounter, be it
Of
platonically or
course.
romantically, but
Hmm.
just put yourself out there and you'll be surprised about the amazing connections you can make.
Totally, 100%. I think
Hmm.
post college, people can often make comments about like how difficult it is to find community and make new
Hmm.
friends, like
It's
outside
tough.
of school or the workplace. But I mean, opportunities are there. It's a matter of you just showing up and
Yep.
testing it out, right? And seeing like not
Hmm.
every opportunity is gonna like, you know, get you a new friend, but like you never know, right? You never know
You
what
never
can
know.
happen, but you have to do step out. So God, I'm glad you went, glad it worked out.
Yeah,
And not only did
absolutely.
you like meet new people, but I mean, you've gone on trips with OTT since then now
I
too,
have.
haven't you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No, we've been active with it. You know, I drank the OTT Kool Aid for sure. Like my first like date was like I call them like weekend getaways because like it's
Yeah.
a weekend getaway. For all intents and purposes. Like this past February, we went to Tahoe. My first time there. I'm a city boy. We don't do that in New York City. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The only snow we got is that black ice, which will take your life if you're not careful enough with it. That was really incredible. And then last weekend for Labor Day weekend, we rented out a mansion in Scottsdale, Arizona, and that was really a blast for sure too. I'm more than happy to dive into the details with both of those trips and experiences, but I also want to stay on as well as off script too. But yeah, those are the two events with OTT that I slid to this
Yeah.
year. Really dope.
Yeah. Oh, I am so jealous. Our Tahoe trip is always one of the most favorites, most popular, most
Yeah.
requested every year.
Hey.
So I'm glad you were able to make it out to that one. I definitely wanted to go to the Labor Day weekend trip over in Arizona,
Mm-hmm.
but I was in Gilroy instead. So you do have to catch me up. Give me a recap of that Arizona trip. How was it?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Like because for me before that, I was in the Bay for a couple of months, and I was feeling a little cooped up and everything. Like
Yeah.
same routine. I'm like go to the office, da da da, and everything. So I was like, all right, I sort of blast. Like I hit up G. I was like, yo, this sounds dope. Let's get into it. So yeah, very very organized, and yo, thank the people in your life who are very meticulous. They do outstanding communication because it ain't easy. I'm like when I'm organizing that for myself, I'm exhausted and like I got to the stage in my life in which dog, I just want to be there. You know what I'm saying? So God bless the OTT team because they take out all the stress of the logistics for us. But it was really calm. Like I forgot how big the place was, but like it was a mansion. Like you know how people would be like, "Oh, yo, I got this mansion and everything," and like they kind of talk it out there, but and everything.
Yeah.
I don't know if we can curse, so I'm not cursing. It's very tough being a New Yorker. So, yeah, yeah, I was like, I keep it PG, but
Yeah.
the house was like fire, like probably like 4,000 square feet minimum. I'm looking at it like it's a main house, but like you have like two villas, and I'm like in my head, I like to play the oh, can I afford this? The answer is always no, right? Like when it comes to Zillow, I'm like,
Yeah.
yo, this is probably like starting at 6, 7 M's or whatever.
Yeah.
Too, I was like, yo, G, like, how much is this house? He told me like 1.1. I was like, I know you lying, bro, because in the Bay in New York, this will be eight M's starting off. And for those of us who don't
Easy.
know, M's mean millions, y'all. Like
Yeah.
I ain't talking about like eight M&M's. You know what I'm saying? But I I love the duality of like not renting out a trap house. And what I mean by that is like you just lay your head somewhere, but you keep one eye open because you don't know if something's gonna pop off. Like
Yeah.
I like that. Like oh, if I'm not really feeling the event, or just if I'm tired, like I'm an ambivert,
Mhm.
contrary to popular
Yeah.
belief. I know a lot of people are going to talk cap on that, but I love that the house is so spacious, and it was a good amount of us there. Like
Yeah.
maybe just under a dozen heads. That
Yeah.
if you wanted to be left to your own devices, you can do that. But
Mhm.
my highlight, so the itinerary, just to go through that, is that we had like a lot of eatery experiences too, like at Ash and Maple. It might be Maple and Ash, I forget, but that was like the grand event where we had to pop out and show DEIs. You know what I'm saying? Like that was really really fun. And then I'm a I'm a spa baddie. Like I will always slide for the
Same.
spas and everything like that too. And we had a Sparty day. I was telling G,
Oh,
I was like, hey
oh.
man, I might have to blow up my life and just move to this spa. You know what I'm saying? Like it was
It was
really,
that
really fun.
good.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And then we checked out the nightlife in Old Town every night, and I I don't go out. I don't go out to clubs. Like I remember like I was 20, 21. I was 21 like just for legality purposes here. But
Sure.
I was at this club and I was like, "Nah, bro, this ain't it." I'm not really messing with it, but for whatever reason, I went out every night that we were there 3 nights in a row, which I don't do that. And I'm still recovering from it. Like just the nightlife because I usually I'm in bed before midnight. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
I ain't as young
same.
as I used to be.
No,
So yeah.
I totally get it. That's why they toss in the spa day to kind of give you some time to help like
Mm-hmm. Like
recoup
eat,
and recover,
gotta
get
eat,
ready to go
yeah, let's
again.
ease them in. Let's ease them in.
Yeah. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
exactly.
Yeah. I saw them post about the spa day. And so I was like, I texted Gabe and I was like, instead of being jealous, I'm gonna go to a spa also. So I went and
Yeah.
got a massage out in Morgan Hill. It wasn't nearly as nice as I'm sure what you had, but it was overall, it was good, much needed. We all need spa days, massages to treat
Yes.
yourself, relax, turn off the noise of
Mm-hmm.
everything going
Abs-
on. So we
absolutely.
all need those breakaways for sure.
Yeah.
So when you're not traveling and doing all these things, what are you doing for work?
Oh, I thought you was gonna ask me what I do outside of work. And I'm like, I'll be doing the most. But with that being said, so yeah, I just celebrated my 5 year work anniversary. I work in people operations at
Okay.
Google too. I usually tell people I just work in HR because in the Bay Area, I'm not gonna go on a rant, I promise, but like sometimes people do be trying to like G check you, like depending on like, okay, what tech company do you work for? Where did you go to school? What do you do at that tech company? I'm like, bro, I don't care what you do. I care how you live. I care about the content
Yeah.
of your character. However, to answer your question, Val, before I go on that rant, too, so I celebrated my 5 year work anniversary at Google. I'm like, oh,
Congrats.
thank you.
That's
I survived two
awesome.
layoffs, man. Like they ain't get me yet.
Yeah.
To to say
That's
the very least.
good
Yeah,
job.
no,
Yeah.
nah, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. And I'm part of the Googler Experience organization. We're known as GXT. I always tell people, I'm like, if you don't like your title, and you don't like where your desk is based, just give it a couple of quarters and they're probably going to move you or rebrand you
Yeah.
too. But in a very succinct matter, I'm part of the document management team. So everything when it comes to document generation, reporting, storage,
Mhm.
retrieval, my team is usually responsible for that either globally or North America, so the United States, as well as
Okay.
the country of Canada. So it's not the coolest job in the world, but I love my team. I love my manager. I'm not just saying that just because they follow me on social media and they might be watching this live stream. I genuinely do rock with them. Like we have a group chat on Instagram. It's really funny, um, to say the very least. But yeah, and I like my job, like but it's very important. I used to be caught up on the whole notion of, oh, I gotta love what I do what I love,
Mhm.
and everything like that. Dog, it's Western capitalism. It's the it's the Bay Area. I'm not living to
Yeah.
work, but I got to work to live. And once
Yeah.
I made that switch, I
Mhm.
my quality of life as well as my career improved dramatically as opposed to
Mhm.
like, oh, I gotta get promoted every year or something like that too. It just unless like it's nepotism or like you really one of them once, that's not gonna happen. It's a slow burn for sure. But
Yeah.
it's been a blessing and shoot, here's to the next 5 years. Like I would if I had wood to knock on, I would, but just wish me luck that I don't get caught slipping.
Yeah, no. Well, I mean, it at least sounds like you enjoy who you work with, and I feel like that's honestly what really makes your work experience. Like, I remember I had a manager once. I was like, I really don't care about these spreadsheets that we have to put together. He's like, I'm not passionate about this PowerPoint deck that we have to put together. He's like, but I care
Yeah.
about like you and like achieving whatever it is that you want, whatever skills you want to learn and do all those
Uh-huh.
things. So yeah, it's more to it than just like the details of like the day-to-day work that you do. But yeah, as long
Yep.
as you enjoy who you work with, like, you got that security with the paycheck, like that definitely influences your quality of life and just makes
Yep.
everything else outside of work so much better and enjoyable.
Uh-huh. Straight up, straight up. And people ask me all the time, like, yo, what's it like to work at the G? I always tell them, I
Yeah.
can't tell you that. I can tell you what it's like to work on my team and my org
Mhm.
at
Oh
the G
yeah.
because just like we were talking about, people, all right, sometimes they leave bad companies, but if anything, if your team is your biggest hater or an op or your manager is your op, like
Yeah.
it's gonna make it a heck of a lot more difficult, excuse
Yeah.
me, to have to clock in because you're spending minimum like what 40 hours a week at this place. You're
Mhm.
nearly there more than you are outside of work because hopefully you're
Yeah.
sleeping. You're getting minimum 7 hours of sleep. For other
Hopefully.
people, it's like 9, 10 hours of sleep too, depending on like
Mhm.
your body, whatever your body
Yeah.
needs
Oh, for sure.
and everything. Yeah, so like that peace of mind too, because I always tell people I have to get this off my chest. We don't hate Mondays. You just hate a Monday because that's when the work week starts. Like Friday would get the same hate if that was the
Mhm.
first day of the work week. So like the Monday slander gotta stop, y'all. Like
Yeah.
Monday is just
Mhm.
chilling. Like blame Henry
Yeah.
Ford for that, bro. Like he was the one
Right.
that started.
Look
Well,
at the
one
work
he won.
week.
Yeah, for real, the work week and
Yeah.
everything, man. But like, fall back on my boy Monday, man. Monday ain't do nothing to nobody.
No, exactly. Yeah, it's all about the mindset. I mean, if anything,
Hmm.
Mondays, fresh week, new
Yeah,
beginnings. If you
new
start strong, you
beginnings.
can have a really great week. I mean, it
Yeah,
really can just set the tone. So, yeah, no,
absolutely.
I totally agree. It's all about the mentality. Do a lot of people ask you for like advice on how to get in with Google? Like if they're trying to get a job there?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. You know, like when you when you are associated with a company that's valued at I can't even fathom this number, like multi-trillion-dollar company. I'm like, that's 1,000 billions. I'm like, I'll be happy with 1 million. I could like rent something really nice in the Bay because I can't buy.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, people I have like I have a lot of informal and formal mentees, and I tell people all the time, like I'm your friendly HR professional. So I snitch, and what I mean by snitch, I put on to game about like, okay, here's like my tips and recommendations, and I'll share it
Mhm.
like at a super high level pacing
Mhm.
here too. So when you're applying for a role, so you can apply up to 3 roles every 30 days at Google.
Ooh.
I always implore people, I'm like, yo, make sure your resume hits the preferred qualifications because from a numbers game, millions of people apply for roles, and I think like 4% of those are job offers extended to. It's
Mhm.
not going to get in the eyes of a human being, a recruiter, if you do not meet those preferred qualifications. So
Mhm.
read the role that you are applying for. I'm gonna say that one more
Mhm.
time because I'm reminded every day inside and
Yeah.
outside the work. People don't read. Like I have gotten so many emails after I'm like, homie, if you would have read the thread, now you're wasting my time and your time. I'm upset. Make sure the 3 roles, because you can apply up to 3 of them, that
Yep.
you are applying for on the Google Career website. Don't go on LinkedIn. Apply directly on the website. That's for
Okay.
any firm, not just Google.
Yeah.
To your resume meets the preferred qualifications. Otherwise, it's going to get screened out. You're going to get, sorry, you're not applying for this role. Best of luck.
Mhm.
That's extremely important.
Mhm.
Secondly, you want to make sure you have qualitative and quantitative data points that highlight your impact. So, for example,
Mhm.
if I was to work in customer sales and I was like, oh, one of my bullet points is outstanding customer service. That's very vague. What do you mean by that? Versus, oh, we saw a 75% year over year increase in revenue
Yep.
sales because we
Mhm.
applied changes for our customer satisfaction and this
Mhm.
satisfaction survey resulting in our team being the team of the year. I told you the same thing, but I told you the situation, the
Yep.
behavior, and the impact. What did I do based on the situation? And what was the impact based off of the actions that I took?
Yeah, no, that
Yeah.
is so good. That's so important. And I feel like, yeah, even I wish someone told me that when I very first
Facts.
started writing my resume, because that was something I learned when I moved out to the Bay and I ended up getting recruited to do IT recruiting.
Wow.
And so which I'm so thankful, even though it didn't work out, I learned
Hmm.
so much. So as far as like the resumes, right? Just like you said, like making sure you're
Yep.
elaborating, you're putting those things, putting quantitative data. So whoever's listening, hopefully they take down notes. That is super,
Yeah.
super helpful, can go a long way.
Absolutely.
Unfortunately, also when I did that, we had some people who would just write all the words and the keywords and to put it in white font. So like just so that way the system would pick up that those keywords were in the
Oh
resume,
my God.
even though I couldn't see. So
Oh
hopefully
my
no
God.
one attempts that. Don't do that. It's
Don't
very much so frowned
don't
upon.
do that. And
Yeah.
like Val, I interned on a staffing, and that's a recruiting organization at
Yeah.
Google. I'm still tight. I don't do recruiting no more anymore.
Yeah.
However, me and my friends who are still in recruiting at Google too, they tell me all the time, like, bro, like this is an AI generated resume and everything like
Yeah.
that. So like, fold me can't get fooled again. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not going to work. Like, don't embellish your resume. Like, I'm not going to say like, oh, I was a I was a vice president at this medium sized company,
Yeah.
and it's like, bro, I interned there, man. Like, that is embellishing
Yeah.
it. Like,
Yeah.
really, it's very important. Either get that in the hands of like a recruiter at the firm that you're interested
Hmm.
in applying to, or if you know somebody that works it, or even cold calling. Like, people reach out to me on LinkedIn often, especially like
Yeah.
undergraduates and early career folks. Like, when I have the time and more importantly the capacity, I will respond.
Hmm.
I can't speak for other people. I know some people.
Oh, I love
I'm like,
that. Hmm.
yeah, because giving back is very important. I wouldn't be where I
Yes.
am today if it wasn't
Hmm.
for my support system and all my incredible mentors that I had throughout my life. So I always,
Hmm.
like people ask me like, "Yo, Drew, like, how can I pay you back?" I'm like, one, be better than I was in every single capacity at an earlier stage in your life
Hmm.
than I was, and then also pay it forward to the people coming up after you. That's all I ask. Like,
Hmm.
I'm not a loan shark. It's not, I'm like, word, it's bond. It's extremely important to me. I'm a man of my word, which
Yeah.
in this day and age, a lot of folks, unfortunately, they say a lot of things, but they don't follow through.
Hmm.
Unfortunately,
Yeah.
for better or for worse, that's their issue. But if I give you
Yeah.
my word on something, I do everything in my power to follow through with that. That's extremely important. And that's all
Yeah.
I ask people who reach out to me for like career advice, be it applying to Google, navigating
Hmm.
undergrad, or just like navigating their career too.
No, I love that so much. Where do you think like that kind of came from? I know you mentioned you had a lot of like mentors who kind of like
Mm-hmm.
instill that in you as far as like paying it forward and just trying to like help elevate other people. I mean, that's not something I feel like that is frequent enough in today's
Yep.
world. I think even earlier we were talking about how like there's enough room for all of us to win. And so I love being
Mm-hmm.
surrounded by other people who think that way. So I'm just curious, like, what would you like say kind of influence like that kind of mindset that you have?
Absolutely. And I really hope she can hear this. She's probably in her bedroom or the living room, but my mom, like, more than anything. I tell people all the time, like, I'm doing the best impersonation of Salathia Anderson, like, my entire life. Like, what you get from me, I learned from her
Mhm.
temperament, her work ethic, and everything like that, too, as well as my pops, like, just being super locked in. But I've always had an incredible support system, like, be it in my family as well as the educators in my life. And coincidentally, right, like, I had more girls and women who have had a profound influence and impact on my life than boys and men. It wasn't really until
Mhm.
like post grad in which like I've discovered brotherhood and the value and like being around
Mhm.
other men who are not only career driven. That's a dime a dozen, right? Like, anybody can want to get after the bat, so on and so
Mhm.
forth too. But what are you doing to hold yourself accountable,
Mhm.
unlearn internalized issues like, be it misogynoir, ableism, homophobia, all the isms, right? So on and so forth too.
Mhm.
So I just always want to give like the girls, the women, the non-binary folk in my life like their flowers, because I cringe at I cringe at a lot of things. However, I cringe at like the hypothetical version of me who would not have had those people in their lives, and like the person I
Yeah.
could have became as a result of that too. And my parents instilled in my older brother and I, shout out Steven, to like, yo, the world is going to look at y'all differently. Like, y'all black boys, and to some people, black men from the Bronx, like, education is your way out. So I really
Yeah.
took that, John, and like ran with it, right? Because I was blessed
Mhm.
because I didn't have any educators. I was an op that discriminated against me, and most of my educators were
Mhm.
like white or European and everything, like New York City
Yeah.
public school kids, shout out. But they really saw the greatness in me academically and professionally and
Mhm.
personally more often than I did growing up. So I had that going for me. I was good at school too. And that is very helpful because school is not for everybody. I have a lot of issues with the
Mhm.
education system
Mhm.
as well. And I also genuinely enjoyed seeking an education too. So when I had that, a lot of pomps and circumstances, it was very serendipitous too. Because real talk, I'm from one of the poorest counties in the United States, and all the other boroughs, when I tell them I'm from the Bronx, like they clench their pearls and everything like that because
Oh
they're
no.
joking, but at the same time they're not joking. That's why I always tell
Mhm.
people when I introduce myself, I'm like, listen, my name is Andrew Samuels Anderson. First of my name, Bronx, and you're born and raised. Like I will always ride for the Bronx too because the
Yeah.
Bronx raised me. Massachusetts educated me in undergrad, and the Bay Area embraced me. I never forget where I
Oh,
come from.
I love that.
Yep, yep, that's gonna be the caption for this video. Believe that.
That is so beautiful. And I love that you are like in a place in your life where like you're able to attribute so much to those people, right? Because I do
Yep,
think like your life's just a accumulation, right, of all the different things that you
absolutely.
learn from your community, and also just a testament of like no matter like where you're from, like you still can make the decisions to alter what your future is going to look like. And it doesn't have to look like your environment that you're born into. And you can make
Yep,
something totally different for yourself, which I totally resonate with. I totally love it.
absolutely.
Gosh, I just mentioned earlier in the call before we went live, but I just like love these talks because I feel like so many of us in within the OTT community can resonate with that so much of just like kind of like that drive to just want to do more, but then also just give
Hmm.
back to others and help each other, right? Like we're
Yep,
all just trying to elevate one another. We're trying to get to know one another, which is why we have
yep,
these calls, right? So we can see like, oh, who's within my network, who's within my community. And so I love that you came to the Bay and that you
yep,
took the leap, went out to FitFest, got connected, met some people, like
yeah.
now you're on trips now,
Come
like
on now.
all the things. Yeah. Is there anything that you're like really looking forward to, whether that be career wise, trips, fun hobbies? What's
Yeah,
on anything you're
absolutely.
excited about? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited for a lot of things, and I'm also exhausted thinking about what it's going to take to get to those things. But like, all right, so what's going on professionally? I'm really grinding, going hard. I'm trying to get promoted sooner rather than
Okay.
later because, like we talked about
Yeah.
on this call, the Bay Area is expensive. I also live by myself. And I'm like, I'm not splitting that in the Bay Area, y'all. So it's kind of like I
Yeah.
am deeply incentivized in order to get that
Yes.
bag
Mhm.
because the
Yes.
reason why I decided to live on my own and like just a call back to the previous question we had to like regardless of where you're from, if you have the means and the resources in order to
Mhm.
travel or move somewhere else, that's extremely paramount because for many of us,
Mhm.
right, like we have a like and dislike with the places that we're from, and
Yep.
everyone goes through challenges too. So it's
Mhm.
like life is too short. There's so much wonder and so many dope
Yes.
people and circumstances. Like,
Mhm.
y'all, the Bay changed my life. Like, I'm gonna get back to that, but like the Bay definitely changed me, for the
Yeah.
better too. It mellowed me out in a lot of ways too. But it's extremely important. See something new, try something new, and like that's why, like with my man to move back to New York, Staten Island, Brooklyn area too. Shout out Mahad as well. Like I was like, all right, do I want to get another roommate? Do the whole what do you like, what do you dislike, pet peeves, or do I want to live alone? And I decided to live alone. That was a premium. However, that was extremely important for me before I settled down, had a family of my own, and then a roommate, God willing, for the rest of my life, and whoever my future wife is, and everything
Right.
like that, because I wanted to better understand who I was by myself too. That was extremely
Mm-hmm.
important versus having a roommate, having a partner,
Yeah.
and everything like that. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to continue to progress in my career on document management. Shout out the squad. Hope y'all watching too here at Google. I got a couple trips coming up. I have my third ever yoga retreat and it's also my first Pilates retreat in Bali
Ooh.
come end of October, early November with Linda, the owner of Yoga Source in Los Gatos, too. I'm super excited about that. So, quick sidebar: I went on my first yoga retreat ever last August. With it was an email blast at work saying like, "Hey, can we do this retreat?" It was in Nerja, Spain, which is like 6 hours south of Barcelona. That experience was so incredible for me. I made a personal promise that I will do one yoga retreat at least once a year. So, like,
I
not to
love
gas me, yeah, like to gas me up a little bit. Like, whenever I tell people I'm traveling somewhere, they're like, "Oh, is it a yoga retreat?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm known as that person on that yoga retreat." It's working, it's
Yes,
working,
it's
y'all. That's my brand.
working.
But
Oh my God.
fun
Well,
fact.
if me going to a yoga retreat would give me the same energy that you're delivering, sign me up. I'm
Yeah,
all about
absolutely.
it.
Yeah, no, I'm actually a registered yoga teacher. I know, y'all, a black kid from the Bronx and everything. So, like,
Wow.
yeah, so I took my yoga practice seriously like the last 2 years. Shout out to my OG
Yeah.
yogi teacher, Teresa,
Yeah.
dope woman from San Diego and everything. I
Cool.
really dive deep into it. So, at any point throughout the year, I'm probably going to be doing some retreat. So, really excited for that. I'll be back in New York for the holidays because I'm not trying to get yelled at by my family,
Yeah.
obviously. And then I'm going to Argentina and Brazil in February. It's not for a yoga retreat. It's completely everything's paid for. I just got to show up, and I'm like, I love that. I don't have to because I'm very methodical about everything. I'm
Yes.
mellowed out. I promise I'm mellowed out. But I'm very
Mhm.
intentional about like details and everything. I'm a
Yeah.
context driven person. But the fact I just gotta slide and show up, yeah, sign me up. And
Oh, love it.
obviously I'm also excited for the upcoming surveys from OTT about like what our next excursion adventure is going to be because
Yeah.
it got to be over the top. It's literally in the name to say
Yes.
the very least. I'm hoping that Jamaica comes back around, even though I'm from New York City and the Bronx specifically, where if you're if you're from the Bronx and like you're West Indian, you're most likely Jamaican. I have never been to Jamaica. Unfortunately, I'm trying to change that. But the way everyone keeps talking about OTT Jamaica, I'm like, yo, it sounds legendary. So hopefully
We
we can get that
gotta,
off the calendar.
yeah, we
Yeah,
gotta run it back for sure. We've
yeah.
gotten some requests for it, I think. So,
Absolutely. There's so
yeah.
much enthusiasm. I'm hoping we get Japan on the map too. I was supposed to
Yeah.
go 2021,
Oh,
but they were being real
yeah.
choosy about the tourists. Understandably so. I'm not going to be
Yeah.
mad about you taking a public health crisis seriously. But I'm like, man,
Right.
let me just cancel my freaking flight because I'll hate to fly 15 plus hours just for them to say, hey, man, I don't know where you're going, but you're not coming up in
Oh,
here. That would be
yeah.
devastating, you know?
No,
Yeah,
definitely. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. But
Man.
I'm also just looking forward to. I'm excited for all those things I called out. I'm
Yeah.
also looking forward to like just relaxing. Like I like being
Mhm.
L&L, and that's what for me.
Mhm.
That's I'm a man of acronyms. So L&L is low key and local. I don't want to have
Yes.
to pack a suitcase. I'm
Yes.
flying out of here. I'm flying into this place and everything.
Yeah.
So I'm so all my friends, peers, and acquaintances do not invite me to anything until like May. May the earliest. It is no. I'm not coming. This costs too much money. I don't no. Don't no trips. No, we doing this, we doing that. I'm fine. I'm good. I'm booked and busy. Yeah.
Oh my goodness, that's funny. You actually sound a lot like Rachel. She's always like, "I'm staying inside. Don't nobody invite me out." And then, and then
That's
we
what I'm
catch up, and
saying.
she's like, "Oh, I'm just hosting a barbecue," or "Oh, I'm going out doing this."
Yeah, yeah, man. Like people be like, "Yo, Drew, where you be? I be at home.
I'm inside.
Home is free.
Yeah,
It's
I'm.
safe. I
Yeah,
ain't like I'm protecting my peace. I'm at that, and you haven't been to my place and everything like that. We probably don't have that type of rapport because I don't be
yeah,
bringing just anybody and everybody up in my place. Like,
yeah,
and that's
yeah.
fine. Like, I'm not. I'm not really pressed about that. Like, I'm gonna see you when I see you. You know what I'm saying? Like, if we
Right.
have that connection, we're going to link up. I pride
Yeah,
myself on being a reformed, low maintenance friend. Like, we don't gotta talk every week,
yeah.
every month, and
No,
everything like
yeah,
that too.
totally.
If we tapped in, we gonna tap in. You know,
No, for sure. That's how it's got to be today's day and age. We all got a lot going on, but
our lives.
yeah,
We ain't on campus no
the
more.
real ones, yeah, will stay connected regardless. And when we
Yeah,
catch up, it's like no time has passed at all. I totally love that.
exactly.
Yeah. Well, speaking of time, I won't take up too much of yours. I know it's a little bit later where you're
All
at right
good.
now. So I just want to say thank you again for taking the time to hop on this call. I had so much fun. I feel like there's still so
Likewise.
much more we could have even talked about. So if people want to connect with you, if they want to go to the next yoga retreat with you, or get more tips on Google, or meet you at the next OTT event, how can they get connected with you?
Yeah, for sure. So you can hit me up on the gram. Like my handle is DRU, just how my name is spelled, underscore SKEY. Yes, it's Drewski. I just want the record to be known. I had that handle in 2011. Okay, like I'm just putting that out there, and then
And
also
you're a man of commitment, so you're gonna
I'm a
stick with
yeah,
it.
I'm gonna stay with it too. Like it hits right, like Drewski that comes off the tongue, real nice and everything like that. Like
Yeah.
Beyonce all on its, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But
Yeah.
yeah. So you can hit me up on the gram. LinkedIn is fine too. Like it's my first and last name. And fun fact about my first name: if you know Drew Hill, that's my namesake and everything. But I appreciate my parents for uniqueness, but also I'm like, yeah, subjected me to a lifetime of people messing my name up. I think that's wild, but I just have
Yeah.
to become important enough for people to know, like, oh yeah, Andrew spelled that way, right?
Yeah.
Same phonetics, different spelling, and like, yeah, no, we'll take it from there. Like, just hit me up and everything like that. I'll get to it at some point, so on and so forth,
Yeah.
and I'm always happy to get to know people better. Like, what are their stories? What are their narratives? Who were they? Who are they? And who are they seeking to become and
Yeah.
everything? Like, let's just grow together. You know what I'm saying? Or
Oh,
separately. Yeah. And
I
apply
love
for
that.
membership. Subscribe
Yeah.
to the link below.
Yeah. I love that so much. Well, thanks again. I hope people do reach out, get connected with you, or I hope they see you at the next Fit Fest that's coming up later this
I'm gonna be
month.
in New
So,
York. I'm
yeah.
gonna be in New York too. Otherwise,
Oh!
I would have been in there. I know, I'm tight, but at the same time, I love being home. Like I haven't been to the city in
Yeah.
8 months, but
Yeah. I
yeah, I
mean,
can
you
catch.
got.
Listen, listen, y'all. I'm not only yoga. I do Pilates. I do hit workouts. I do spin
Yeah.
classes. I drink kombucha. The Bay Area changed me. So if you want to get to know me and bond with me, like tell me, like, yo, I'm doing this physical activities. 9 times out of 10, I'm a slide. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Mhm.
Well, there'll be many more events that they can catch you at then. It sounds
Absolutely,
like.
believe that. Yeah, we outside with it. Health is wealth, baby.
Yeah,
Holistic wellness.
right.
That's my mo.
Amen.
Yep, yep.
Amen to that. All right. Well, that will conclude our chat for today. Thanks everyone who joined in to watch this, and we will see you at the next member spotlight next month. So,
All right, y'all.
yeah.
Be easy.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.